Hi everyone, I'm going to do a loose watercolour ladybird today. I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques we've not really touched on in the Super Easy Beginners series. I am using a small bit of Saunders Waterford. I've actually done this into a square, so it's 5 by 5 inches. I have got a round number 10, a round number 6 and a rigger number 2, a Cotman palette. The link's in the description. So I use the same things all the time for this series, and it just shows you can get used to what you have and use it and learn from it before you then buy other stuff. So I'm going to come straight on with some red. You'll notice I've not wet the paper today, so I'm just activating this cadmium red a bit. So very different, because I'd normally always wet in wet, so this one we're going to come in dry to start with. So I'm going to start to do a ladybird shape or an oval shape. I've done the outline. I'm using my round number 10 so that I am nice and quick. I do not want this to dry. So I'm going to keep the light to this top side. I'm just filling in but leaving a gap. I'm going to rinse my brush, dab it off on the kitchen towel, make sure you can see, so that there isn't too much water in this, and then I'm just going to smudge through so that I'm starting to get that little bit of light. Dip my brush back in the water, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow, so I'm going to dip some of that in. And then I'm going to pick up, this is alizarin crimson. I just want something a little bit darker to drop in. So this is all still nicely wet and is giving me time to play a little bit. I'm just going to run a little bit down that edge. Then from around number 10, I'm going to swap to around number 6. This is ivory black, Payne's grey would work. So would a mix of ultramarine and burnt sienna or ultramarine and burnt umber. Just be a little bit careful with the Payne's grey because it is phthalo blue based and it will be quite shooty. So I'm activating this, getting it nice and thick on the brush. I'm going to touch off a little bit on the kitchen towel. That just takes a little bit off. And then I'm going to come in and start to create my black spots. So they're going to be nice and fuzzy because we're going nice and loose. Ivory black's great because it doesn't shoot too much. You can have as many spots as you like. We'll have a few more there. One there. And then I'm going to start to come into the head. I'm going to leave a little bit of light. Again, I want that to flow a little bit. This is going to be nice and loose. So I don't want to be too in control of everything. Okay, so I've rinsed my brush off. Just looking at the light, I've got that little bit of light there that's white light, that's dry light. I'm just going to lift out again. So this is a damp brush, dabbed off on kitchen towel. Sometimes it runs back in when it's too wet and you lose the light. So you've just got to keep an eye on it and dab that little bit back out. If I take my rigger, I can bring in, so this is just water at the minute, some little legs. So I'm just painting with water. And what you get is this lovely flow. You won't really see many legs around that other side. This is with my rigger, so I'm picking up a little bit of paint and just flowing that in to each of those legs. So nice and loose. I'm going to pick my round number 10 back up. I'm going to load it with water. And I'm going to touch, so you see me pushing down, and I've touched one bit, and I'm going to touch another bit. And what you'll see as this starts to flow is something called lost and found edges. So I'm pushing the brush down. It's important you push it down so that the water goes further. I'm going to carry on doing a few of these little bits. This is quite hard for a beginner, but it adds such amazing atmosphere. It's worth learning and practicing. It's something called softening in and lost and found edges. So I've dropped down to my number 6. Just going to take a little bit more of that alizarin crimson in. And that's going to flow a little bit in there into that softness here, which helps it to feel less cut out. Now if I pick up, I'm going to use a little bit of sap green. We're going to say this ladybug's on a leaf. And what I'm going to start to do is just take a little bit of this into the damp, because I want you to see these lost and found edges. So by me popping a little bit of this in, you're going to start to see them. So I'm just going to wet. This is my round number 10. All the way around the ladybird. Not all the way up. I still want to see those lost and found edges. Take a little bit in between the legs. So I can now just dabble in a little bit of the green. Red and green complementary colours, so that works really nicely to help that ladybird stand out. I've got a little bit of cerulean blue here for a bit of variety. And then what you're seeing here are these lost and found edges. So I've lost an edge, I've found an edge. I've lost an edge, I've found lost an edge. So this is why it's called lost and found. And you're getting those lovely little bits of loose. Okay, I'm going to dry this one off. Okay, so that's beautifully dry. I'm going to come in with my round number 6 into the ivory back. If you struggle to draw your lines, do a thinner brush. It's absolutely fine to pop this line on. But we're going to get this little bit of the break for the wings. I'm just going to take a little bit extra on this bottom side of the ivory black. I'm not losing all the softness though. And then with a clean, damp brush, I'm just dabbing it off on the kitchen towel. I'm going to do that softening in again, which is just touching the paint but pushing the brush down. So I'm not moving the paint, I'm pushing the brush right down and I'm just going along that edge of the paint. And that's giving me a hard edge that side and a soft edge this side. And that is called softening in. If I pick up my rigger, I've got these lovely soft edges, but I just want a few sharper little bits. So I'm going to pop in some legs down this side. And I'm going to see possibly one there. Not much else of anything. I'll pop a few little dots so it sort of mirrors what is there. I pick up my round number 6 and a little bit more of the alizarin. I can just bring on a little bit of extra here. That's just going to help that side to darken. If you want to darken the red a little bit, you can always use a little bit of a blue or a little bit of a black. Blue, I tend to prefer, this is a bit of ultramarine, tend to prefer the blue because it's less deadening to the colour. And we've already got the black in there, so I'm going to just add a little bit more. I'm all about getting a bit of shadow now. And get a little bit just on this side here. Just to help this ladybird stand out a bit more. So I'm just creating a little bit more of an outline. You could just leave it totally soft. I think it just adds a little bit of extra just to have that there, just to help it stand out. And then I also want some shadow. So I'm going to use the sap green that I've already used and just paint in a little bit of a shadow. So this round number 6, make sure it's not too thick. You want a layer, but you really want to see the colour underneath as well. If you want to make the shadow darker, I'm going to use the same ultramarine blue. So just take it towards, just dab into the ultramarine blue, just take a little bit in. It should still blend. If it doesn't, then just take on a little bit more of the green. And then I'm going to have some shadow from the leg, a little bit of shadow here and here. And that ladybird is now pretty grounded, which is nice. Nice loose ladybird. So I'll load my brush up with water. I'm going to pop into the sap green and just touch my finger. So I'm going to give, because we're going nice and loose, so we're going to keep it nice and loose. I'm going to give a few little splatters from the background colours. So this is the cerulean blue. Touching my finger, keeping it nice and close. If any goes on your ladybird you don't want, just dab it off with kitchen towel. And then this is another nice loose technique. So I'm filling my rigger with water and I'm just going to come through these splashes. So nothing more than brush strokes through wet paint. So water, and this just gives a lovely loose effect. If I take in some of the ultramarine blue, and then I can drop little bits of this in, and it's going to run along those wet lines when it hits them. So I'm loading my brush up quite a lot. So there's lots of little techniques like this that help you develop loose when you're just playing just a little bit and learning what the paint does. just a cute little ladybird. And some grassy bits basically. You can take the grass over, you can take the grass behind. And then I'm just going to touch into a totally different colour. I tend to do this when I like loose. And then this is a bit of rose. I'm just going to bring that into this corner. So this is going to mix, make a few purpley bits. Just add an extra bit of interest. There we go. So I'll dry that one off and take the tape off. So there we go, it's all finished. Lessons in loose and how to start to develop those loose style brush strokes when you're new to watercolour. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe and share. Check out my membership channel as well, and I shall see you next time. Bye.